Is cinema a scientific approach for you, or is it more emotional? Like, which one would you
No,
prefer?
cinema is one of the rare arts where you have to blend both, actually. Okay. There's nothing like a scientific approach. Scientific approach is too big a word.
Analytical thing.
Yeah, yeah, you have to, sometimes you have to be. When you're structuring a story, there are things you have to keep in mind, you know, that which will have to be there for it to work as a plot. Now, life obviously is irrational, you know, you don't have these plot points in life. But when you're telling a story, you have to organize it in a structure for people to make sense out of it, because it's a microcosmic view of life. And so the kind of answers we don't see or expect in life, we definitely expect in stories. True. That's what separates stories from real life. That's why they say truth is stranger than fiction, you know. So, but fiction has to make sense to people when they're watching it. So, in terms of structuring a story, in terms of writing it, I go through a lot of methodical way. And when I go back and see some of my films where things did not gel, I would say that's where probably certain adjustments were made or certain miscalculations were made, because of which they didn't work, or enough was not pushed for the audience to react. So definitely in structuring a film, in writing a screenplay, there is an approach which I like. I'm not someone who believes I want to go there and improvise, and that's I think an absolute nonsense.
You don't like to?
I improvise, but for me to improvise there has to be a foundation.
Okay.
I mean, my argument is always this: Tendulkar knows batting. I mean, he is the master, but still he practices every day, not because he doesn't know, but that foundation allows you to improvise.
Right.
It gives you new discoveries. You know? So for me, writing the screenplay and having a master plan is absolutely essential. And from there, about 20-30% of improvisation always happens. Actors bring their ideas, cinematographer brings, music director brings, all these things, but they all have to build it upon this raw material. Right. So I always believe that that is very essential for me, that the master plan has to be in place. But when the actors step in, when technicians step in, they're all creative people. Then they kind of give it life. When an actor starts mouthing a dialogue, the texture of the character will change. Right. And sometimes I say, hey, maybe I can add this line. Or sometimes an actor might say, sir, I don't think I should say this. I can just give a look. Right. And I can just, a small gesture would kind of satisfy the audience. And I say, yeah, probably you're right. So that happens, that is a 20-30% improvisation part for me. But the initial part of preparation has to be, as far as I'm concerned, has to be very methodical. Yeah, otherwise it doesn't work for me.
If you were, you're saying that you try to make sense of every plot that you want to narrate, right? So what are these answers that you found from making Gentleman?
The answers, like I said, all the themes, like for example, it's about love. So is the love story making sense? Okay. Is it like there's one love story that has to be unreal, you know, it has to be cinematic actually. Right. So I shot it it's shot from girl's point of view, the girl's point of view, and she has to, and she narrates it like you're watching a movie. Okay. There is some exaggerated elements in it. Right. And all that. The other love stories are very romantic, real. You know. So are the love stories working? Are the plot points working? Are the character arcs working? You know, is there a journey for the characters from the beginning till the end, or are they simply flat? You know, and are the emotional journeys of each character? There are about 5 characters which are central to this film. Are all those journeys making sense to the audience? To me, at least, first, for them to make sense to the audience. So those are the things I'm always checking, and it's one of the more satisfying films for me. When I looked at the final cut, I said, yeah. I mean, and it's also the kind. I feel Gentleman is the kind of movie that you carry home and you talk about, you know, and then it's not like you're thinking about how to get to my parking and get my car out. Instead of that, you're enjoying the after effects of the movie. I mean, at least I did. So I desperately hope that the audience also will.
You worked with 2 very beautiful actresses in the film, Niveda and Surbhi.
Yeah.
So what was it like to work with them? Was there a specific procedure that
Definitely,
you approached?
and yeah, there is. And Niveda has already done movies in Tamil and Malayalam, and this is her intro in Telugu. Surbhi has already done Express Raja, Birua, and she's done VIP also in Tamil. And she's pretty well known here, more than Niveda.